Here's something that I don't get. If we are constantly in this flow of non-physical to physical, non-physical to physical, and we choose to come here, I don't understand how we could get so far from what you're teaching us as a society, as a world, as a culture.
Because somewhere along the trail, someone convinced you that what you feel is less important than what they feel.
Yeah.
They said to you, don't you dare be selfish. Do what pleases me. Do not do what pleases you. And you bought it.
But shouldn't we have, since we've come from this physical to non-physical back and forth, shouldn't we have more of a remembrance? Shouldn't we?
Well, but consider this. What if, from the broader perspective, you're not really that worried about it? What if, from the broader perspective, you know the end of the movie turns out good? What if, from broader perspective, you know that you came to explore contrast for the benefit of expansion? And what if you know that the worst case scenario would be that you pinch yourself off from it for a while, maybe your whole physical life, but that when you croak, you come back into alignment with it? What if, from the big perspective, you say it's way, 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 way worth it to explore the contrast for the thrill of offering expansion, and even more for the thrill of getting up to speed with it? Think about people who would never go on an adventure and those that just love the thrill of an adventure. And you all were seeking the thrill of the adventure. First of all, you know how the whole thing works. And next, you know that you are a creator. And next, you know that you cannot begin to create if you don't have some stuff to create from. So you're willing to jump in and have your own exposure to life, because somebody else can't create through you. You got to create through your own vibration. You've got to create through your own attention to things. You need life in order to create, in order to put things into your escrow. And you were eager to do that, you see. And you didn't see it as bad and good. You saw it as variety from which you would choose. And you knew that you would launch these rockets of desire. And you knew that you had a guidance system that would let you know whether you were in alignment and whether you weren't. So your question is then, how did we get so far off from it? Why did I have to go so far?
And there's no understanding. I mean, between us here, we're understanding it a bit, but out in the world, the teachings, the religion, the mainstream thinking is so off.
Well, we don't agree with that for this reason. Let us give you something that will soothe that just a little bit. First of all, all of these new consciousnesses that are coming forth, we're talking about flora and fauna and the baby humans. All of them that are coming forth are coming from this perspective of all that you've put into the vortex. So they are tuned in, tapped in, turned on, cable ready, ready to rock and roll. In other words, they're coming in and they're knowing. And that's huge. You talk about a generation gap, we call it a vibrational gap. They're coming knowing things that you've put into your vortex that you haven't allowed yourself to know. They're coming in knowing it, you see. And then there are those like you who are deliberately moving yourself into the vortex. Then there are those who have just figured it out that they want to feel good. In other words, everything that every single person does, everything that every single person wants, whether it's a material object or a pile of money or a relationship, everything that everyone wants is because they believe they will feel better in the having of it. And then you have those like us. As you summon us, we come and we explain, and when you're ready, you hear, you see. We don't think that your world is as out of whack as you are seeing it. And we wouldn't make a big deal over a little bit of negative emotion if we were standing in your physical shoes. But we do agree with you. It should feel better to you. Life should be good to you. You should get what you want. You shouldn't have to suffer. Things should unfold. You should feel your power. We want you to know your worthiness. And we think that is the biggest, boldest, most accurate answer to the question that you're posing here. People have lost their sense of worthiness because of the distorted story that has been told to them about who they are.
And stories, so many, one after another. So,
but this conversation is not helpful. In other words, you are continuing that story. No matter what the reason is that you're focused upon that, you're not focused upon what's in the vortex as you tell such a story. So you want to get into the vortex so that you can radiate the knowledge that you want others to find. And this is the time of awakening, meaning this is the time when all who are looking will find. We want to find a way of helping you to feel the enthusiasm that we feel when your life causes you to put something into your vortex and then you manage to get in there where it is. That's the thrill of life. And that's the nugget that everyone is looking for. Mm-hmm. We want to convince you that the perfect world isn't one where everybody knows what you're coming to know and everybody is just this really dynamic, deliberate creator. That's not the perfect world. The perfect world is the world you've got. The perfect world is the world of contrast and balance. The perfect world is the world that stimulates new desire, and some line up with it and some don't. In other words, the perfect world is the world of choice. It's the world of knowledge. And we know that when you find a way to find happiness, that you want to tell everybody about it. But the thing that's tricky about that is somebody who's not in the vicinity of happy can't hear you. And so then you want to say, well, something's screwy with the system. And we say, no, it's not screwy with the system. There might be something screwy with people's ability to understand where they are in relationship to who they are. That's screwy. It's screwy that a mother welcomes a child into the world and then convinces the child that the child should care more what mother thinks than about how the child feels. That's screwy. But don't you notice that as children grow, that they begin reaching for more, and that if they care about knowing, that they'll find their way? We cannot assume that people in various religions haven't found something meaningful that is working for them. In other words, we are not for a moment here to suggest that the way that we are explaining all of this is the only way that it can be explained. We understand the laws of the universe, but there are plenty of people who are outside the vortex, who are living, who have put things into their vortex, who find things in religions that you might not find that might help them to close their gap, you see? There's not one right way of living. There are so many right ways of living. Good morning. We are extremely pleased that you are here. It is good to come together for the purpose of co-creating. Do you agree? Yes. You are knowing what you are wanting? Yes. Moves about a bit, yes. You are appreciating the contrast that helps you focus your desire into being? Yes. A little too much enthusiasm there. Well, it is the most important question that we could ask you, because when you realize that you are an extension of source energy and that you've come here specifically to create, and that you deliberately chose an environment of exaggerated variety and contrast because you knew it would cause you to focus. You knew it would cause you to selfishly, can't do otherwise, can you? Because you can only see through the viewpoint of self. You knew it would cause you to selfishly decide. You knew that the variety would just cause that new desire, new preference to be born within you all day, every day. Every consciousness, that includes you. Every consciousness, that includes one-celled organisms. Every consciousness having an exposure to experience and preference as being born. That's what the evolution of all species is about. But you are far more than an evolving species in terms of replicating cells and that sort of thing. You are consciousness who has come forth with the express intent of creating, and you knew that when you were exposed to something unwanted, that something wanted would be born out of it. In fact, you knew that to the degree from your point of view it was unwanted, there would be an equivalent, same degree of desire that would be born. And you knew that out of that contrasting, perfectly balanced environment, that you, in your attention, in your focus, in your exploring contrast, would constantly give birth, sending out rockets of desire to endless new preferences and perspectives. In other words, you knew that you would be that important part of this expanding universe. So, as you are now standing in your contrast, and we ask you, are you appreciating that contrast? Sometimes you tell us yes because you think we want to hear it, but rarely do you mean it when you say it. Because almost without exception, most of you are offering most of your vibration in response to what you are observing, and you're having a hard time, we know you've noticed, controlling your environment. So what happens with so many of you, because when you look at something unwanted, you don't feel good. You want to look at things that are wanted. We want you to come round to our understanding that even when you look at unwanted things, there is value that comes from it. Now, we don't want you to look so much at unwanted things that you develop a chronic pattern of vibration about them so that it becomes your chronic point of attraction so that unwanted things surround you. But we also don't want you to worry about an occasional awareness of what you don't want, because what you do want is always born out of that. It's so important to understand that this creative process, of which all of you are an emphatic part, is a 3-step process which says, first, the first step is you ask. And it doesn't mean you have to point it with your words. It doesn't mean you have to get on your knees and pray to something or someone about it. It means that life must evoke from you a clear new decision. And your life is evoking clear new decisions from you all day, every day. So when that new desire comes forth, you've accomplished step 1. Now, step 2 isn't your work. Step 2 is, once that desire emanates from you, the non-physical part of you, the part of you that was before you were born into this body, and the part of you that is, even though you are still born in this body, the non-physical source energy, inner being part of you, when you, from your physical perspective, send forth that request or rocket of desire, your inner being, the source within you, holds that thought until you amend it again. In other words, until you add to this newly evolved preference, source holds it where you last left it. Now, you don't leave it there very long ever, but source holds your place in your furthest, most expanded beingness. That's step 2. You ask, source answers. Now, the third part is really what we're here to talk about today. It's the part that most humans find a little tricky, although we don't see why. It's so clear to us. That third part is, once you have sifted through the contrast and you've launched this rocket, you must become more of a vibrational match to this rocket that you have launched than a vibrational match to the reason you launched the rocket. You hear that? If you don't have enough of something, you ask for more. And source becomes it immediately and begins lining up circumstances and events in order to accommodate you. So if you would, right away, become a vibrational match, optimistically feeling, friskly feeling about what you're asking for, there would be no vibrational contradiction within you, and the manifestation would show up in your experience fast, efficient, effective, fun. It would. But if you are, like so many of you seem to be, not quickly a vibrational match to your new request, but over here justifying the reason you ask for it, I really want that because it is miserable without it, I really want that, because I deserve it and don't have it. I really want that, because I need it. And others have it. And they're not better than me. But a lot of us don't have it. Seems unfair. That's why I'm asking for it, because I really want that thing I do not have, that thing I do not have, that thing I do not have. I want it. I need it. I deserve it. But in that awareness of the absence of it, You're offering a vibration about the absence of it, and you cannot offer a vibration about the absence of something and the presence of something at the same time.